Like every episode feels drastically different where you're like, what is this show about anymore? Like,
Huh.
what are they doing? It's not good anymore, man.
It sounds like you're saying Jurassically instead of drastically.
Drastically, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
like
always
I
struggled. I actually struggle with that word, so I might be saying drastically.
it's like Jurassic Park. I'm wondering why nobody said that. This is
Yeah,
drastically getting very, very,
yeah.
very, very. This
I might be saying drastically. I forget it's a D. Drastically.
is.
Drastically. Okay.
I'm gonna leave you alone. Trying to find like the best lighting that I don't look so pale.
You
But
got a
also
little frame and a frame. That's nice.
right here I can raise the light.
Oh,
So that's why I was like, this seems like
that was a good
the best
spot.
spot. Well, sweet, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while. How have you been?
I've been good, been good. I went to Vegas for a little bit, had a friend from Minnesota visit, then came back.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I guess we go right back into rhythm with this. I'll do our intro then.
Yes. I like our like little thing where it's like we're consistent and then we're dead and
Yeah.
then we're back at it. We're
Yeah.
unpredictable,
Yeah. No schedule really. Just I think that makes people excited to be like, oh, I guess I haven't seen them in a while. Cause
right?
but welcome to History of Popcorn. Consider this your secret public movie club. We are a podcast that celebrates all things movies. We react to the latest industry news, we do movie reviews, and discuss just about everything movies. We have new episodes every week, sometimes not, but you can find us on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as a visual episode on YouTube. Hello. Um, we are your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Justin.
And if you happen to hear any snaps, crackles, or pops, or see anything visually disturbing during this episode, it's because we do our sessions through Zoom, but we're happy you're here. Justin, this week, do you want to know what we're talking about?
I can't wait.
We're going to be talking about Dracula, some Star
Yes.
Wars, and
Yes.
Y2K.
Wow.
Remember Y2K? I think
Yeah.
we're all still recovering from Y2K.
It's more like wow 2K.
Wow. It
Huh.
is. It is.
Huh.
Hold for applause.
Yay!
If you
Yeah.
have anybody applause right there, I'm gonna be so upset. If I hear crickets, if I see
Crickets?
this episode
Damn
and they're
it.
just crickets.
But yeah, so last episode we talked about Frankenstein, and so it seems like they're I don't know, it seems like a lot of people are doubling down on that era of monsters, kind of like um what was that? The Universal monsters? Which
Mhm.
again, if you haven't seen Justin's breakdown of the first three movies, please check that out. It's on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I need to continue those one day. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe next October then
I'm
I'll go
contemplating
into it.
watching every Dracula movie after this news because I'm like, interesting. I want to know what that is. But I'm reading Frankenstein for the first time, which is pretty good.
Ooh.
It's pretty good so far. I'm like halfway through, but I'm interested in that because I've never seen those movies either. So, yeah, this is some interesting news. This isn't on the list that I have, but there's this trailer that just came out called "The Voyage of the Last Demeter" or something. Demeter. I don't remember what it's called. Something like that. But it's based on a chapter in the Dracula book, which is about
Interesting.
a ship transporting Dracula's body and like how Dracula escapes and starts killing everyone on board the ship. And it's just
Oh
like a
Lord.
chapter from the book. And they just released a trailer for this movie and it looks awesome. They've been trying to make this movie for years and years and years. And usually I don't like to talk about movies if they have a trailer already because everyone already knows what's happening. But this
Hmm.
movie looks really cool and it just adds to the whole Dracula lore that we're going to be talking about today. It's called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, or I don't know. It's the name of the ship, but it's been in what's it called? It's been in like Purgatory, Studio Purgatory for like years, but people have been trying to make it. Like
Interesting.
names like Guillermo del Toro and people like that have been trying to make this movie for a long time. And it's finally coming out. So check that out and let
Okay.
us know what you guys think. But that movie looks really interesting, and
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
yeah, because it's just one chapter from the book. It's not an actual whole story thing, so it's
Hmm.
like interesting.
Oh.
But this first project
There you go.
is kind of rumored. It's not officially announced as a Dracula movie, but there's a lot of stirrings that it's going to be. The people behind the last two Scream movies, Radio Silence, they're signed on to do a monster thriller at Universal. Um, their names are Matt Bentinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette, if you know, but they go by Radio Silence, and they also made Ready or Not.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they're making this other movie with Universal, and it's considered an untitled monster thriller. Melissa Barrera is also attached to this untitled monster thriller, which is a little unnerving to me because I'm still not convinced, or she hasn't won me over really, you know?
Yeah.
Ever since we saw her in The Heights, we were just like,
Yeah.
oh no, she has to lead franchises now. She's a franchise woman now. But
Yeah.
we'll see about this because what's it called? This is rumored. There's no official synopsis for this movie, but it's rumored that it's going to be a group of people get like a group of teenagers or something get or around her age get abducted by these people, and they find out as they're getting taken that one of them is Dracula's daughter, and hell breaks loose. I'm assuming that Melissa Barrera would play the daughter of Dracula.
Sounds about right.
So, so there's that. That's not official, but there's rumors that that is what it would be, is that the daughter of Dracula, which is really interesting that they would go this direction. It could be entirely wrong, but for talking purposes, how would you feel about them going for a daughter of Dracula movie before even doing a Dracula movie? Unless, like I said, that the last voyage of whatever that just came out, that maybe that's canon to it. I don't know if that's by Universal though. I don't think it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of those sound like, I mean, like if this is how they're gonna go about it, if Warner Bros is gonna go with their source material,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, I mean, like this is a very unique, already three unique takes that we're getting, which is Renfield, which I'm pretty sure that's actually Universal, right?
Yeah, I think they
All right,
own it.
so
They're coming out. Yeah, the last voyage of the Demeter is
Universal
Universal.
as
I
well.
just found out too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all the Universal monsters. So if this is the way they're going about it, I mean, like that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. We have one that's like super wacky. We have one that's just a chapter in a book, and another one that's just an original idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like let's go for that. I mean, that's better than it just being just a straight up Dracula remake, or
Yeah.
with the whatever the fuck that they did with the Dracula Untold thing, which was absolutely stupid.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I
Yeah,
don't even
because
yeah.
it's just franchise starters. Like these don't sound like franchise starters. These sound like, just
Sounds like they
actual.
learned their lesson, and I think they're leaning
Yeah,
toward what they did with the Invisible Man, which was pretty cool. Just like renovate, but
exactly.
also like not too much. Like you don't have to build a franchise. Like just I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems interesting. Yeah.
it does seem interesting.
If it's true, we don't know if this is it.
Yeah,
When I first heard that the Radio Silence was making this movie, a Universal monster movie, I kind of was hoping it was going to be Creature of the Black Lagoon or something like that.
right.
Because
Is
I
that
feel
what they
like,
call themselves? Do they call themselves Radio Silence, or is that their
yeah,
production company?
it's their production company, but it's just easier to say Radio Silence rather than both of their names because
Okay,
every big movie they've done so far since Ready or Not have
right.
been together.
It's like the Daniels. We
Yeah,
only know them
which
as
we
the
will be talking about
Daniels.
the Daniels later in this episode.
Oh my
We
god, I'm so
directed
excited.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. We are talking
And
about
Swiss
that.
Army Man.
Yeah,
I just rewatched some of it the other day.
the movie's crazy.
Love it.
Um,
Love it. But yeah, no, I like
yes,
that. I like those ideas.
the
Those
daughter
are
of
good ones.
Dracula. That could be
Right.
true. It could be not. We'll see what happens when they get more
Well, I know
information.
also that they did in the OG universe. There is, I think, Son of Dracula,
I think
which I've
so.
not
You
seen.
probably know more about it than me because you were scrolling through a
Yeah,
couple of months ago.
I'm pretty sure there's a Son of Dracula, but I don't know if they've done Daughter of Dracula, which
Interesting.
that doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Daughter of Dracula? Did it? I think it does. Daughter of Dracula.
Daughter of Dracula. Yeah, they can
The
create something better.
Dracula's
Oh,
daughter.
Dracula's
Flip
no.
it? I don't know. The offspring
daughter
of Dracula.
daughter of Dracula.
Something like that. That could work. I don't know.
Mm,
We'll see.
mm,
We'll see.
mm.
It might not even be true, but that's what a deep
Right.
rumor is about it, which would
I
be
can definitely
interesting.
see her being the daughter of Dracula too.
She
She's
does
already
give off
pale.
vampire
She's
vibes. She does give
that's
vampire vibes. So there's that.
mean.
That's an interesting one. But I wanted to bring that up because it's also very interesting. I'm wondering how this would impact the sequel to Scream 6. Is it Scream 6? Yeah, Scream 6. Because it's rumored Scream 7's coming, and they usually like to pump those out pretty quick. So we'll see. This next project is very interesting. Well, it could be. It's when we're talking about the MCU's Blade movie. Have you heard anything about this? Do you know what I'm going to bring up? There's
I
casting news for this character for this
I
movie.
just know the like I mean like I don't know the recent, but I know that Mahershala Ali is supposed to be
Right.
Dracula or
Yeah.
Dracula Blade.
Blade, yeah, the one who hunts Dracula, sort of thing.
Yeah,
He's a vampire hunter.
yeah, vampire hunter.
But apparently this before I go into this new casting, which has me excited for the movie a little bit more, apparently they had a draft of the movie and they're getting ready to shoot in like a couple weeks, and Mahershala Ali was like, "Nope, this isn't good enough. This is not what I want to do. This is not the direction we were going to go with." So he was like, "You have to change it all." And so they got a new writer and I believe a new director almost immediately because
Damn.
Mahershala Ali was like, "No, we want it to be different than what you gave us." Because
Oh damn.
apparently the first script was like 90 pages, which is really short for like an origin film or for a movie that you want to take seriously. This seemed like it was
Mm-hmm.
like a just like a fill-in type of movie because you usually
Right.
want to avoid like 90 minutes is like to the point. Like there's nothing like really in it.
Yeah,
And
that's
a lot,
Morbius stuff right there.
yeah, and a lot of times it's like just like short and like it's like a kids movie because they're like the attention span that's like the bare minimum that people usually reach for. But so that happened and now they have like a whole new team behind the production, and this first casting has me thinking that it's going in the right direction now because Mia Goth has officially joined the Blade movie, which is a
Mm.
big catch for horror
Mm-hmm.
fans who she's been ginormous in the horror industry
Yeah.
in the last couple years, and she's just been done some crazy roles
Yeah.
in her whole career. So this is exciting news because it's also rumored that her character is going to be called Lilith, who just coincidentally is the daughter of Dracula in the MCU. And she is like the big bad villain that spawns a whole new team of like Blade, Doctor Strange, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Moon Knight, and a couple other characters that deal
Good
with the
God.
mystic arts and like supernatural. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
mini Avengers team for supernatural threats. And Lilith is one of the big bads for that. And having the Blade movie introduce her as the daughter of Dracula would be very interesting to show that world. And I don't know, she could be a big bad sort of Avengers level type of villain, which would be really a good catch, I think, for Marvel.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Especially Mia Goth. She's great.
Yeah, I was gonna say before, I was like, I feel like the MCU is gonna try really hard to reel Justin in because Justin is very far behind in Marvel, and
Yeah.
they're I think they're gonna try their hardest to get that one kid, Justin. They're gonna get him. They're gonna get him
There's that
because
one guy.
what was the last one that you saw? Because you haven't seen the last two Avengers movies, right?
No, I saw
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. I saw the madness of multiverse
Oh
madness stuff.
yeah, yeah,
I watched that one. But I
yeah,
didn't, some of it I didn't understand what was going on. But I did like the Sam Raimi aspects of it. So if they're gonna go like supernatural and horror with it, which I'm not
yeah,
even a big fan of horror too, but I mean like fuck, do something else. I
yeah.
haven't seen Quantum like the last time I saw
Ugh,
Elijah and Chris and Billy Joe.
yeah.
You guys saw Quantum Mania and you guys said nothing but bad
It
things.
was so bad. It's so bad. I feel so bad.
I
I
feel
mean,
so bad.
Paul Rudd is better than that, I thought, and I guess the director's not
It's
though.
the
Peyton Reed.
only one that he didn't write too.
It makes and
So
it shows. It shows. It shows the dramatic difference because I watched all three like in like a day. I watched the first two, rewatched, and then saw the new one. There's a drastic difference between the first one, second one, and third one. It just goes like
mhm.
this.
Well, it's
It's so
because that
weird.
they're trying to do the even the smaller movies. They're just trying to do the big stuff where it's just just go back to what was known for Marvel in the back in the day. It was just like just these single movies
Hmm.
that you can enjoy without knowing anything. That's why I'm worried about the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie too. The
Yeah.
trailers are great because it seems like they are just focusing on the Guardians,
Yeah.
that's good. But I mean, like this will like the just from the trailer for the last Ant-Man movie just seemed like there's just so much shit like that they're trying to build up. So
Yeah.
it's not its own movie. And so like when you're trying to watch movies like that, it's like this isn't an actual movie. This is just telling you what's to come.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of weird stuff. Marvel can but the fact that Mahershala Ali was like make it different, like change this
That's
has me a
cool.
little cuz he's been a quality creator in Hollywood for a long time, and I think that it was
Yeah.
important for him to speak up in that way and not just
Well, I
make
think
something
it's
generic,
also
you know.
yeah, and I think it's also because the like the audiences really want him to be Blade. So I
Yeah.
think that's why that they took it very seriously because they
Yeah.
know if like they try to recast, then everybody's gonna be nitpicking. Everybody really wants Mahershala Ali, so I
Hmm.
feel like that's why they're like, okay, if he doesn't like this, then we really have to go a different direction,
Yeah,
which is cool.
I am pretty excited about that because yeah, the next movie's coming out. Like the Marvels trailer just came out from Captain Marvel 2 or whatever,
Yeah,
and that's basically a sequel to like three different Marvel projects. There's like two
yeah,
Disney Plus shows, WandaVision and Miss Marvel, and then Captain Marvel. So it's like
yeah.
it
It's so
feels like you're
much.
supposed to watch all these other
Yeah,
things to understand this one thing.
it's
Which,
so
like you
stupid.
said, it's hard to make a project like that. But
It's just impossible. Like it's like they're really shooting they're shooting themselves in the foot.
mhm,
Like it's impossible to. It's one thing with DC where they have like different universes happening,
yeah,
but at least like they have like with the universe that they have, there's so little to watch. There's so little to like get into that you can still get into it.
hmm,
But with these things that they're like, I watched the Marvels trailer, and the entire time I was like, I have no idea what the
who are
fuck is
these
happening right
people?
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
yeah,
like they're doing like these big reveals, and I'm like, I don't care
yeah,
because I'm not gonna go through like that's literally a whole lifetime. Like I've thought about it. It's like okay, I'm really gonna sit down one day and watch all these Marvel stuff.
yeah,
But with the TV shows and with all these movies that are like almost 3 hours long, it's like it's impossible. Like
yeah,
you really have to have no life to really do it.
yeah. To
You're like,
catch up. If you
and I'm
fall
not saying
behind, it's
that.
hard to catch up. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm not saying that in a mean way. Like I'm gonna have to fucking take vacation days, like to fucking to keep up with Marvel just for our silly little movie channel
yeah.
here.
Justin, you've accumulated 2 weeks of a vacation. Where are you going? To my couch. Watch the Marvel
Yeah,
movies. Got
I'm
work
doing
to do.
I'm doing this for history of popcorn. You guys understand, right?
Yeah.
Can I get sick days for this?
We're gonna be talking about Star Wars a little bit later too, because there's some Star Wars projects that were announced, but like one of the creators of that said like we're trying to make projects where you don't need to watch that stuff, you know?
Hmm.
So I'll segue into the Star Wars movies because that's all I really want to say about the Marvel Blade. Is cool
Yeah,
that Mia Goth is joining, someone
yeah.
super talented, along Mahershala Ali, which was going to be really cool, I think. So there's fingers crossed for that MCU Blade can hold up to quality standards. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Who knows?
But have you heard anything about these new Star Wars projects that were announced?
No, I gave up on
So
Star Wars.
recently they had a Star Wars celebration. It wasn't May 4th actually, which is surprising, which I thought it usually takes place around May 4th,
Yeah.
but they had one over in the UK and they announced, I'm just going to talk about the movies they announced because they announced three new movies and it's a pretty big deal. Oh, actually we're going to talk about a show too a little bit, but um these movies that were announced are pretty interesting because we've heard rumors that Taika Waititi's making a project. We heard that Ryan Johnson is supposed to get his own trilogy, the guy who did the Knives Out movies, but all of those seem to be put on ice and there's no follow up to what's going on with those movies.
Hmm.
So these are completely new announced movies, and everyone on film in the film Twitter world is like, if you are a director and you get a Star Wars movie announced, you're probably not going to be able to make that movie eventually because you're just going to go through hell and it's going to get
Yeah.
stuck. Because that's what's been happening since what is it
Oh Lord.
yeah, with the Solo movie, like
Yeah. Well,
everyone,
even with
so many,
Rogue One, even with
yeah,
the uh what was it, Gareth Edwards or whatever?
yeah, they hired a different director like halfway through.
Yeah.
So they struggle to hold creators to what they want because of, I think it's backlash from the studio. I
Yeah.
think whoever's in charge, I think it's Kathleen Kennedy or whatever, and all of them, they never agree on what they're gonna do with the movies. Even like the main trilogy of Star Wars that just came out, the way they did it was so wrong. They kind of just like
Yeah.
batoned it, where it's like a relay race. We're like, all right, I'm done with my part, do your part, and they're like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Just go with it, and then hand it off to the next person. And then J.J. Abrams had to clean everything up in a one movie, and it was all over the place. So Star Wars does not have a good track record right now of their most recent movies, it seems like, but these next ones, we'll see what happens. This first project, I don't know if these are the official titles, but this first one is called Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, and it takes place 25,000 years before the original trilogy, and it's about the first ever Jedis, and it's supposed to be like I'll find out in a second. It's by James Mangold. James Mangold is attached to this, which is a curious choice. I didn't know he was gonna like. It's weird when they announce directors like this, because he did Logan. He's doing the Indiana Jones, so he's got to have some sort of relationship with Disney at this point, because he did the last Indiana
Dial
Jones.
of Destiny.
Yeah, the Dial of Destiny. So he's comparing it to like a religious type of, I forgot which one it was called. Which one is the Ten Commandments? That's like an old
Yeah.
classic movie.
Yeah. Is that what he's comparing it to?
He's comparing it to that, of having it being like biblical proportions, epic, of discovering the Jedi ways and the Force, discovering the Force, the first Jedi to do it. So there's that. There's one project right there.
That's okay.
But yeah, James Mangold is attached to this. So there's some positivity to that, but again, it's Star Wars, and we'll see if he actually sticks around for it. We don't know if he's going to stick around for it, and we don't know if he took the project from Taika Waititi, or if he's like, we don't know if he was the original choice, or if it was, or anything like that. But
or if they're just once again doing the Patton thing.
Yeah, like a director for hire. He's like, he's on the payroll, Disney, let's just give it to him. He seems like capable. But yeah, Dawn of the Jedi, it's called. So that's the first one. We'll see. I don't know. There's a bunch of books, I guess, obviously, for the expanded universe.
I was gonna say that
Wars,
sounds like a fan fiction.
Yeah,
thing.
maybe it's based off a book. I haven't seen if it was or not, but there's that. This next one is pretty big. This one's called Star Wars New Jedi Order. Supposedly, it might change when they release the movie, but this one is set 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. And the big thing about this is that Daisy Ridley is returning as Rey. It's gonna follow her as a Jedi Master, rebuilding the Jedi Order after the events of the sequel trilogy. And good for her. Good for Daisy.
Yeah.
Did we like her in it? Did we like
I
her
liked her in the
movies?
first one. I even liked her in the second one.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
like,
did nothing wrong, I guess. I mean,
she did nothing wrong. Her character sucks. Her character ended up sucking.
a lot of the
like,
characters ended up sucking, except for the legacy characters.
So I
'Cause
mean, like,
yeah.
I don't know if that's. I mean, like, they're probably gonna do what they did with the Obi-Wan series, where it's just a bunch of retconning and
Fix
fan
it all.
service.
Fix it all.
And so I mean, like, who knows? I mean, like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait until you say the third one, then I'll give my opinion on all this.
Yeah,
entire
it's
Star Wars thing.
I mean, the way that Daisy Ridley talked about the experience, it seemed like she was like, I can't say anything bad, but I'm not going to say anything good either. Same with John Boyega. They just were like, well, John Boyega's out. He's like, I'm done with Star Wars. But
no,
I guess Daisy Ridley never said that. So,
well, I mean, like, I can't imagine for them, especially because it's like the Force Awakens was such a great, just the movie, and like if you watch like the documentary when they're making it and everything, it's like, oh my god, it was like such a magical experience. Like the whole marketing of it, and promoting it, it's like a dream come true. Just all this nice stuff. It's like and for all of us too, and we saw that movie, it's like, oh my god, this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
And then I can't imagine after that, man. because after that, I mean, like I feel like we're all in the same boat where
A
it's just
real
like,
fall from grace. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, so what's happening now? Oh, you guys have no idea what you're doing. So like for them being fans and also being actors, and then for us just being fans and just being watchers, we're all just disappointed. We're all just like,
Hmm.
okay, so this is how it's gonna be. And I
Yeah.
can't imagine how it was for them to make it, because
Yeah.
it's like I can't, like it's probably just the entire time there's like, oh, so like this is my dream now, just like crashing just right before my eyes.
Exactly.
And instead of everybody like loving us, now everybody's hating on us because of stupid ass shit.
So yeah, there's that. 15 years after Rise of Skywalker, we're getting a sequel, and everyone's upset. Not everyone, but there's people who are upset by them not calling it Episode 10. But I'm just
Jesus
like,
Christ.
that's I mean, I want to defend it in a way, kind of saying, well, that's the Skywalker story.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: Rey is not actually a Skywalker, but
Yeah,
she's calling
she's a
herself a Skywalker.
Palpatine,
She's a Palpatine. Spoiler. But yeah,
which is so dumb.
which is weird.
It's
So
not weird, Elijah. It's dumb. Let's call it as it is.
they had to make it a legacy somehow, I guess. I was
It's
on the
because
train.
all of us called it out, and that's probably what they wanted to do, but all of us called it out, and so they were
Yeah,
just like,
Ryan
you know
Johnson
what?
kind of put a fork in her, like he kind of messed everything up because he didn't want to go the direction that they were
Yeah,
alluding to. He was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do nothing, but I'm gonna do a lot. Ryan Johnson
Right.
said.
Yeah.
And it's so slow, but it's not a bad movie. I'm one of those people who are like, I did like The Last Jedi, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I need
So
to
Ray's coming
rewatch it.
back. Ray's coming back. We'll see what it means.
We'll
And
see. We'll see. We'll
but
see.
I was one of those people who thought that she was gonna be a Kenobi, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I thought that it would have been better if she was just a solo, but
Oh yeah, I remember those. I remember that. So there's those two projects. No one's attached to the Dawn of the Jedi right now, except for James Mangold. This next one might have you a little upset because it is one of those situations where you're like, you don't want to watch all the shows and stuff to catch up on this, but this is one that's going to be, it's a Mandalorian movie, and it's directed by the guy Dave Filoni, who's doing like all the TV shows, and he's like the main head of like Star Wars right now for like continuity and story and everything. He's like the new George Lucas. He
Hmm.
he did what's the animated Attack of the Clones and all those shows, the ones that
Mhm.
lasted a long
The
time,
Clone Wars.
the Clone Wars and like the animated ones. He was in
Hmm.
charge of that. That's how he started with those storytelling, and then he got upgraded with Jon Favreau to doing the live action TV shows together. And so he's directing this one, the Mandalorian movie, which might be a little upsetting because the Mandalorian has the Mandalorian. It's got a new show called Ahsoka or whatever with Rosario Dawson. It's got a Book of Boba Fett, and all these shows are gradually getting worse. I don't know about a show Ahsoka or whatever, but The
Uh-huh.
Mandalorian is getting really bad. The first season is a very good season of show, but the new seasons have just gone downhill, and it seems like they
Yeah,
don't know what they're doing.
that's how
And
it usually goes.
yeah, and the fact that they're making a movie about it now has me a little worried, like you said, of like we have to watch all that other stuff to really understand what's going on, including
Yeah,
the Clone Wars TV show, the animated TV
yeah.
shows and stuff, because they're bringing a lot of those animated characters into live action with these TV shows, and I'm just like, who is this supposed to be? Like, I'm like, it's one of
Who's
those
this
things.
for?
Yeah, yeah, it's not for casual fans anymore.
No.
And the way they shoot a lot of the stuff is like they hold for these characters for applauses, it seems like, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I don't know. But
it's weird. It's like honestly,
like,
like
have
with
you seen The Mandalorian? Have you seen any Disney Plus or
no, I have not
Star
watched
Wars show?
any. I want to watch The Mandalorian, but I mean, like, I just really like lost my Star Wars
Yeah,
fix
you have
after.
fatigue.
But yeah, after the entire thing with Solo was going on, and then the Rise of Skywalker, that's when I was just like, and then Disney Plus was coming out, and like they were like talking about all these shows that they were doing, and
Mhm.
after that, I was just like, dude, just stop. You guys are like really like
Yeah,
they're killing a franchise that used to be so important to me. Like
yeah.
I love Star Wars so much,
Oh yeah, they had
and
an
like
Obi-Wan Kenobi show too, and I was very excited
yeah,
for that. And that one
and
was
I was
really
excited for that too. And I
just
just
really
watched the
flat.
trailer. Yeah, I watched the trailer, and it's like if it was just a movie,
Hmm.
even then it's like, okay, we don't really need this. But if it was just a movie, you brought Ewan McGregor back, you brought Joel Edgerton back,
Yeah,
cool. Like we're just seeing from Kenobi's perspective and trying to protect Luke Skywalker. That's an interesting movie.
Yeah.
But then it's like you're making it into a TV show, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
And they just keep doing that shit, and like it's worse with
It's the age of
these
streaming.
Star Wars and with Marvel though, because it's like these are all, every single minute of it is like it's all connected with each other. So if you don't know like an episode 5 of WandaVision, then you're going to be confused with watching Doctor Strange and the madness of multiverse, whatever the hell. And I was.
And the madness of Marvel. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and the madness of nobody knows what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
It's just a very odd way of trying to, I don't know. I think it's a very odd way of just making movies and making just like content in general, of just especially in this scale.
Yeah.
Like I just don't, I feel like even
You know
people
what?
that are like
think
really
I have
into
to blame
the
Breaking
shows,
Bad. I have to blame Breaking Bad. There's such a good TV show that everyone's like, we need to have a TV show. We need to have everything be a TV show now.
But see, I agree. I think the Breaking Bad and Walking Dead, I think really did do it.
Yeah.
And Netflix shows too. I think Stranger
Binge.
Things
Yeah,
and
the
like
binging.
But even then they don't like it's just like I don't know, there's just so fucking much. Just leave it alone.
They
Just,
are doing a lot.
It's just they're really just killing it. They're ruining a franchise that is just like that. I don't know. Like
I guess we can't really be
don't.
super surprised because like a few years ago, Kathleen Kennedy was like, we're going to be releasing a new Star Wars project every year.
Yeah,
And
which was so dumb.
I guess
So
they warned us because there's a lot of stuff coming. But I mean, the creator of this, Dave Filoni, did come out with a quote saying like, we're trying to make something with this Mandalorian movie where you don't have to see anything else. You don't have to watch anything else. It helps. Obviously it helps,
Yeah.
but you don't have to. So
No,
they
bullshit.
already have that approach, but it already feels that way with everything that they're putting out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like a lot of the Star Wars projects that are coming out right now.
No, Disney's really
Andor
just
is
ruining
good.
Everything.
That's actually a good show. Andor's.
I forgot about that one. Jesus
Yeah, there's a
Christ.
lot. They have a lot of stuff. I forgot about it until just now. But that is a good self-contained story that's only going to be 2 seasons,
Mhm.
and it's done. And they're
I
not going
like
to try
how
to do a
Kathleen
bunch.
Kennedy did say, I totally forgot about that quote. She said every year, but she didn't mention every month.
Yeah, it's-
Every month they're getting new Star
Yeah.
Wars stuff.
It's really strange, and yeah, that I don't know. I guess The Mandalorian gets a movie. A good for
Good for them.
Pedro Pascal, who's taking over, I guess. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
heard recently that Pedro Pascal had like a huge, like, what do you call it? Like he was really angry on set and almost like left the set in the show. So everyone's like, he might not even be a part of the show anymore. Like he might not shoot anymore because I don't know exactly what the details were, but he like got really angry or he was just like really done with the show. And
Wow.
it kind of makes sense because the direction is so weird. And they like try to we're gonna this is a good transition, is like they try to get like big directors and stuff to do these episodes. Like they always try to like get like a big director. Like they have Jon Favreau as a director. They're trying to bring Bryce Dallas Howard into the mix a lot. She's directed a couple episodes of The Mandalorian, and honestly those, and Carl Weathers directed an episode of The Mandalorian, and it shows their lack of what's it called, their lack of
Vision.
their lack of like knowledge of directing. It, like they're drastically different levels of production when you see who directed it. It's like, oh, that's why the episode looks so weird. It was directed by Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
So it's like they're doing stuff like that, especially with all, because they have a
They
lot
got-
of
they
other
got-
TV shows coming out too.
You got fucking Apollo Creed directing.
Yeah, because he's in the show a lot too. He's like he's like a
Oh,
character
God.
that shows up
Yeah.
every so often. So they're like, sure, just direct this episode because you're in this one. And it's one of the worst shot episodes I've ever seen. I was like, Carl shot that? It makes sense. The action
Carl
scene,
shot that.
the action scenes are just not good. Like it's just there's production value shows. Like they had
Didn't
Taika Waititi direct one, Rick Famuyiwa. I don't know if I'm saying his name
the
right.
dope director.
The dope director, which I was excited for. Now he's like one of the main executive producers of The Mandalorian. I'm just like, I don't see their vision in it. It kind of just seems
Right.
like a direct, like a just like
It's
a
kinda
hire.
like
It's
what-
just a job.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they did with The Flash when Kevin Smith was directing. It's like there's nothing to it. It's just Kevin Smith's name on there.
Yeah.
So
And it's just, it sucks.
Wasn't there an episode recently I saw on on Twitter and Instagram that Jack Black and Lizzo were like
Yeah,
in it or something?
yeah. Jack Black, Lizzo, and Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future were all in the same episode. So
Oh wow,
just by that, you're like, is
that's
that worth
weird.
watching? And it's not. It's they
Yeah,
like
I
do
heard
like
I
a
heard it's pretty terrible.
they do like a mini CSI episode that doesn't fit. Like every episode feels drastically different. Where you're like, what is this show about anymore? Like,
Huh.
what are they doing? It's not. It's not good
It's
anymore, man.
it sounds like you're saying Jurassically instead of drastically.
Drastically, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
like
always
I
struggled. I actually struggle with that word, so I might be saying drastically.
like it's like Jurassic Park. I'm wondering why nobody said that. This is
Yeah.
drastically getting very, very,
Yeah. I might be saying drastically. I forget it's a D. Drastically. Drastically. Okay.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
But yeah, so
Guys, this is drastically getting crazier and crazier.
but that's why I want to bring up this next project that's a Star Wars project as well. It's called Skeleton Crew. It's it's supposed to be inspired by like an 80s Goonies type of situation in space, and it stars Jude Law picking up like preteen like outlaw kids, you know, and like mentoring them. Yeah, don't do that. but like it's supposed to be. It's John Watts is like the main director producer of it from the Spider-Man trilogy, the new one, the MCU one. But this is what I wanted to ask you as we were talking about all these like big directors coming in. Skeleton Crew recently announced all the directors that are going to be a part of it. They have David Lowery, who I think did what is it, The Green Knight, right?
Yeah, he did a ghost story.
He's one of the directors for this project. The Daniels is one of the directors. Bryce
Ooh.
Dallas Howard. Um,
Is she directed now? Is that a thing? Is she becoming the new Elizabeth Banks?
she's been trying to direct. Because that's isn't that a what's his name? Right? What's his name? Howard, the one who took over for the solo.
Oh, Ron Howard.
Isn't that Ron Howard's daughter? I think it's his
Ooh,
daughter.
that's a good question.
That is his
Yeah,
daughter.
yeah. Probably.
So yeah, she's directing a lot of them. She doesn't do that great, honestly.
Nepotism. Sorry.
Yeah, but there also a guy named Jake Schreier who's directed things like Dave
and he also did the new Beef show, which is
which
amazing.
I really want to see it. I haven't seen it
Oof,
yet, but I want to see that one a lot.
You got it. I only have 3 episodes left. Oof.
But yeah, so they announced these directors, and everyone's like, it's a big deal. Watch it for the directors. And a lot of people gave the Daniels shit. They gave him a lot of shit for taking on this job of directing the episode, or an episode of a Star Wars TV show. And I wanted to ask you how you felt about them taking that job after just winning an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I mean, no, don't give him shit for
Because
it. I mean,
they're notorious indie people, you know, and now
they're
in the arms or hands of the media.
And you know what? That's what happens. And it sucks. It sucks, trust me. But also it's like I can definitely see them, if it's just them directing one episode of a Star Wars TV show, like why wouldn't they say yes to that? It's like what, like working like a week or two on an episode of Star Wars, like fuck it, go buck wild.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, it's worrisome to think like these two guys that did these amazing, weird, out of like crazy movies. You know, that's who knows? Maybe that Star Wars episode will just include butt plugs and, and shit. Like, who fucking knows? Who knows? Maybe
first space butt plug.
Yeah, maybe they will do that, but don't give them. We can't give them shit for that, dude. Mm-hmm. They're on top of the world right now. Okay, let's let them do what they gotta do. As long as their next movie isn't Jurassic
Disney movie?
World, Jurassic. Oh my god, yeah. Okay,
that's what people are worried about. Is that
if they do a
be
Disney
stuck
movie,
in the
then I'll be upset.
Yeah,
because David Lowery, I mean, like, look at that. Like, he did The Green Knight, and he also did Pete's Dragon, which Pete's Dragon was whatever. It was pretty boring. Pretty David Lowery.
What he did?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
But now he's doing the new Peter Pan and Wendy movie.
Okay.
Which looks absolutely terrible.
Is that a movie or is that a TV show? Oh no, it's a movie.
It's
yes.
a movie.
Disney Plus movie.
It just looks so. I mean, it's not that the movie looks terrible, but what I'm trying to get at is, at least he's still. When you watch, even if you watch the trailer, it's like, yeah, okay, David Lowery directed that. Very somber,
Yeah.
and like it's up his wheelhouse, I guess. So if the Daniels really do go the route of Disney, I hope that they, I hope that they do what Phil Lord and Chris Miller do, which is like, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it
so weird until we're fired.
Us.
I can see that.
Until we're fired, then if they do that, then let's respect. But until then, we don't know.
They came out with an official statement because everyone was so loud about being upset about it.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, I thought this would have came up at some point because it was around Oscar time too when they announced it. But they came out and said we needed a job. We needed to keep our health care.
Yeah.
Like they legitimately said we needed to keep our health care intact and they needed to keep working. Because directing and everything like that, like when you get to that level, it like you gotta keep doing it. This is our last story we have. It sounds more original and it's gonna put a happier note into our heads of what's coming. It's by A24 because of course.
A24?
But this is a Y2K comedy movie and it's called a dial-up disaster comedy, which sounds awesome.
That sounds awesome.
And the cast gradually got bigger and bigger, all the way to the point that I'm very interested in the director as well. The director is Kyle Mooney from SNL. It's his first time directing a movie. And it sounds awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Let's see if I have the synopsis first. I'll give you the synopsis first. It takes place on New Year's Eve, 1999, and two high school nobodies decide to crash the last big party before the new millennium. When the clock strikes midnight, the night gets more insane than they ever could have imagined. So the cool thing about this is I love 90s movies, early 2000s movies. It's an awesome period of time for filmmaking, in my opinion. It's so campy, so corny, but you just get on board with it. It was also around that time when they were making a bunch of modern Shakespeare movies, which were all the rage, 10 Things I Hate About You, all those movies. But the cast makes me excited for this too, because it's a bunch of up and coming actors, including being directed by Kyle Mooney, which is cool. But the two main high school nobodies is going to be Jaden Martell from the It series, the main kid who plays, what's his name? Bill in the It movies.
Stuttering Bill.
Yeah, and Julian Dennison, who's in Deadpool. He's in The Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh, okay.
He's in King Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Kong versus
Kong versus the world. Kong versus the world. But he's a really good up and coming New Zealand actor who's really funny. He's really talented. I'm excited to see them come out. And it also has Mason Gooding, who was in the Scream movies. We got Tim Heidecker who's going to be in it.
Oh, nice.
Alicia Silverstone, who was big in the 90s.
Yeah, Batgirl, baby.
Oh yeah. Let's see. The main guy from Funny Pages is in it. If you guys have heard us talking about
Still haven't seen it.
It's very dark. Daniel Zogladri. I don't know how to say his name. Man, this is an interesting choice. They have the kid Leroy, who is like a singer, a young singer who's just coming out into the industry because like Justin Bieber did a song with him, but this guy came out of nowhere and now he's doing a movie. So we'll see how that plays out. But it also has Rachel Ziegler, I believe that's how you say her name, from what was that musical? West Side Story, right? With Steven Spielberg's West Side Story and Shazam. And she is a very, very, very strong talent. So I'm excited for that cast. And it sounds like a fun movie.
It does.
It's also produced by Jonah Hill and a couple other people. So yeah, there's that. A24 is going to come out with another original banger, hopefully.
We always have to always resort to A24.
So yeah, those are all the movie news we had. We had Star Wars, we had Dracula stuff, and we had an Y2K disaster.
Which that's the one that I'm really happy that we talked about.
I saved the best for last.
You did.
The more that I heard about this Y2K movie, like they had the cast attached and like A24 attached, and like the kid Leroy, the kid that I was talking about, he's a musician kid, or an artist, I guess. I don't know, musical artist. He was like the first person
Musician
attached.
kid.
He's like one of the new generation, like the next Justin Bieber rapper, kid, singer, guy. I don't know.
Gross.
But he was like one of the first people attached. So that's why I was like, this is not going to be that big of a movie. But then the cast grew, and then they announced the director like toward the end. I was like, oh, Kyle Mooney, let's go. That sounds really funny. And I like Mason Gooding. I like Jaden Martell. I like Julian Dennison from the Hunt for the Wilder People. And Rachel Ziegler is like, she's coming up as a really. I never saw what is it, the musical
West Side Story.
I never saw the new West Side Story. I'm
Yeah, I
going
didn't
to
either.
eventually, but I saw her in Shazam too, which I'm just gonna say I did like Shazam too. Everyone hated it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
I don't need to watch it again, but there's a lot of discourse behind Shazam 2. But she was really good in it. She's really good in that movie, and she's only done a couple things, so I'm excited
it's
for her.
mainly just
And
everybody.
she's the new Snow White, live action Snow White. So Disney. I forgot they were doing that too with Gal Gadot. So I'm glad she's doing projects like this and not just doing projects like that.
Seriously. Good God. Just stop it.
Yeah. So there's that. We did it. Another episode. 61 episodes of History of Popcorn.
Good God, dude.
Yeah.
Look at us. Look at us.
Yeah.
It's
It's good time. It's good time.
I need a Starburst now.
Is that
Oh, it's
yellow?
hard.
Did you just eat a yellow one? You just chip your
No.
tooth. Oh, I chipped my front tooth like a couple of weeks ago. It's okay though. I got it fixed. But it was pretty bad. I was like, damn. It was like drastically shorter than my other tooth.
Yeah, I chipped mine on a wine bottle.
I don't know what I chipped mine on. I think I bit a fork. I just like chipped it. I don't remember though. But
Just so I don't get controversy, I did not get a yellow. Might look yellow. It's a pink one.
It did
The
look
best
yellow. Like I only have yellow. It's just...
I only fuck with the yellows.
It'd be very interesting. You'd be the first. But yeah, we did it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let us know what you guys are watching. Let us know what we should be watching. Follow us on social media. And yeah, share the podcast if you're listening. Thanks for sticking around. This is a longer episode than the last couple episodes. Last couple episodes are like 30 minutes. This one's a nice solid 50-ish minutes. All right, guys. See you next time. Maybe not next week, but next time. You never know.
We're unpredictable.
Bye.